Hey there, and welcome to The Bridge. My name is Armani.
And I'm Kelly. Welcome to the second season, Woo Woo, of the only television show written by DeKalb students, produced by DeKalb students, and performed by DeKalb students. I'm from Southwest DeKalb High School.
And I'm from Tucker High School. We have a great show for you today. We have an interview with Quentin Fretwell, and we'll kick back with him as we discuss ways to stay safe on social media while still enjoying what it has to offer.
We also have performances by Sydney Rame and Zorian.
Yes, there's a lot more too, from how much music influences behavior and more fashion advice from our Dappernistas, so relax and stay tuned. Sydney Rame has been writing and performing since she was a preteen.
Really? Well, let's get started then. Please welcome Sydney Rame.
You're near me, ooh. The things you say, they'll never faze me. Take the fears away, or we can face them. Just shut your mouth and let me say this. I love you now. You don't believe me, but I'm standing right here. And I'm not going nothing but running away with you. The things you say, they'll never faze me. Take the fears away, or we can face them. Just shut your mouth and let me say this. I love you now. You don't believe me, but I'm standing right here. And I'm not going anywhere.
Yes. That was a lovely performance.
Thank you.
So beautiful.
So where do you find your inspiration to write your own songs?
You know, I just write about like personal things that happen in my life, just like experience and things like that.
And what artists would you say that you look up to?
You know, I love all types of people. Like I love David Gray and Jack Johnson, but you know, I also like Taylor Swift here and there. So yeah.
Okay, so how long would you say you've been performing or singing and playing the guitar?
My very first performance, I was 8 years old, so I've been doing it for a while.
Wow, started from when you were young.
Yeah.
Thank you for
so
coming.
much for that lovely performance.
Totally. Thank you guys for having me.
Hi there, and welcome to The Bridge. This segment of the show, we like to call it Keep It 100. Right now, we have Mr. Fretwell. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Now, for the viewers out there that do not know who you are, could you tell us what is your profession and what do you do?
Okay, I'm currently the Safe School Coordinator with the DeKalb School District. Actually, I started my career, and actually I'm a 32-year-plus educator with the DeKalb Schools. Started back in 1981. I was a substitute teacher, paraprofessional, band director. I became interested in special education, so I became a special ed teacher, special ed department chair. Then I became assistant principal at Columbia High School, and later became assistant principal at Dunwoody High School in the area of discipline. From there, I received a promotion to the district office in the Department of Human Resources, particularly hiring special ed teachers, and then I had a great opportunity to become involved in the Department of Safe Schools and Student Relations. And I went into that department, and a few years later became the director of Safe Schools and Student Relations. So I spent about 25 years or more in the area of student discipline and safety. And so being the director of Safe Schools and Student Relations, I was involved with everything from student discipline, the district hearings, also involved in student safety, security, and things of that nature. But one of the hallmarks of that department, we crafted the bullying, harassment, hazing awareness campaign, and also the district policy on bullying and harassment and hazing. And so, and we actually been published in the American School Board Journal. And so the district has been highlighted in the American School Board Journal associated with the National School Board Association on our work in the area of bullying, harassment, and hazing.
All right, so you have so many names under your belt. What persuaded you to become the person who you are today?
Well, you know, I'm a great believer in destiny. It was one of those things where the circumstances came about. I really didn't know very much about special ed, and I became a paraprofessional in special ed. And it seemed to be something that I really enjoyed, work with that population of students. Someone suggested, in fact, the teachers I was working under, the teachers said, well, you seem to be pretty good at this. Why don't you go back to school and get your master's in special ed? I said, well, I never thought about that. So I went back to Georgia State University and got a master's in emotional behavior disorders. And I started teaching actually 8th grade boys in that area. And my job was, and my role I felt was to help them to improve and then work their way out of the special ed program. But that's how I became involved in the area of student behavior and student discipline. And so from that I taught classroom management with professional learning for several years, and becoming assistant principal in charge of discipline, working in that area, and that led me ultimately to Safe Schools and Student Relations.
All right, so what has your experience been like with dealing with this type of job that you have?
Well, I have really enjoyed it, because here's the thing. Many people would probably think, okay, well, you know, Quinn, you were dealing with kids who are getting in trouble and they're getting suspended, getting expelled from school, you know, getting all kinds of consequences. But actually, the real goal was to help kids to make better choices, to help kids and their families, because we also dealt with something called student placement, which involves students who are coming in from incarceration, students who are coming in from various other situations, having expulsion or suspension from another school district or things of that nature. And so they would come in, and what we would try to do is to try to help them and also help the kids understand that there's a better way. You know, you can punish kids all the time, but ultimately, at the end of the day, discipline is about redirecting behavior and making better choices. And so many of the families that came in to see us, ultimately when they walked out, they were very thankful and very happy, because they understood whatever the consequence was, that's something they're going to have to deal with. because and I want kids to know, there are, in life, there are consequences for our actions. We make decisions, we make choices, but with those choices come either good things or consequences. So you sometimes have to accept the consequences, but ultimately, when you deal with the consequence, but the consequence is not forever necessarily, but then you learn to improve and be better.
All right. So what are some of the advantages that you have had working with children?
Well, it is very rewarding to work with because I had a chance in my career. Like I said, it's been 32 plus years. So I worked in a lot of different areas. And the advantage is you see someone improve. You see someone grow. You see, because many times some of the kids that come in, maybe it's not just a situation with the kid. Maybe it's just a situation, that impacts the whole family. So you try to help everybody to feel better and feel like, okay, there is hope. So the wonderful thing is you get a chance to see improvement. You get a chance to see things happen for some people who feel like maybe sometimes, wow, woe is me, look at the situation I'm in, or something of that nature. And to be able to know, yeah, it is what it is, but there's always opportunity to be better.
All right. Well, it was great talking to you. Would you kick back with us as we speak on social media bullying?
Well, I'd be happy to, because that's my area. I'm working on a PhD from Georgia State University, and my dissertation topic is on bullying, so I'd be happy to help out in any way I can.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Welcome to our kickback today. Today we have Kelly, what are you doing?
I'm taking a selfie. Hashtag the Bridge TV 24.
Well, that ties into today's topic. Today we're going to talk with Quentin Fretwell about social media and cyberbullying.
Yep, Mr. Fretwell is the Safe Schools Coordinator for DeKalb County. So, Pit Crew, how are ways that we can protect ourselves on social media?
We cannot give out our passwords. We can lock our accounts, make them private so only our close friends and family can see them. We can be very cautious about what we put online. A picture that you post online, I feel, is something, if you don't want your parents to see it, then you shouldn't want the whole world on the internet to see it. That's how I feel.
Also, don't share your location.
Oh yeah, that's...
And the number one thing would probably be, don't take a picture of your credit card. I've seen that much time.
Oh.
That's ridiculous. Or your address. Some people do that.
Okay, but the question is, if you post something online, you take a picture or make a quote or a message or whatever online, is it out there forever? Like, can you get it back? Can you delete it?
Yeah. I think it definitely is, and you see now colleges looking at our Facebooks and things like that, so you definitely have to be careful of what you post on social media.
My question for all of you guys is, do you think that we should still have social media? Because you see it creating a lot of problems such as cyberbullying and things like that. Why should we keep social media around?
I say you should still have it. It just determines how you use it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can make a problem out of anything. We can make problems out of everything, so you can't just take away everything so we have no problems.
Nowadays, it will definitely help you with your business. If you're trying to get out there in the world, promote yourself. Social media is also good.
Well, Mr. Fretwell, what are some ways that we as students can try and be safe on social media?
Well, I think you said a lot of great things here. One thing is, don't share your password. Even if you have that best friend who wants to say, hey, let me have your password, or something of that nature. Just don't share it. You never know, once you give out something, then how it's going to be used. Right. The other thing is be careful, again, what you put on, because if you don't want your parents to see it, then you shouldn't put it on there in the first place. Right. Plus, keep in mind, whatever you put on there, nothing ever really gets totally deleted. And do you remember that commercial that came on a while back? They put a picture of a girl on the wall of the school, and then somebody came by and pulled it down, and then another picture popped up. Right. Then somebody else came down, another picture pulled it down, another picture popped up. Then when she came and she saw the inappropriate picture of herself, she started really pulling down a whole bunch of pictures. Every time she pulled one down, another picture popped up.
Yeah, I remember.
And then she just got completely tired and frustrated. Then a janitor came by and then pulled down a picture, an older guy. You just don't ever want to put something out there. One thing about it is, and as this young lady said, nowadays, a lot of people are looking at what you post on social media. So if you're concerned about your future, if you're concerned about things like getting a good job or getting to a good school or things of that nature, you got to be careful about what you post, because now, because it's there. I'm an old guy. Years ago, we didn't have this kind of stuff. But now that it's here, and I'm glad one thing I heard you say that's very interesting. See, you can't say that social media is bad. It's not that social media is bad. Somebody said years ago when the car was first invented, oh, that'll never work, you know, because they said horse and buggy will be here to stay. Cars never work, and it's going to be a problem, or whatever the case may be. Now, what if we kept it that way and never had a car? Things are going, over time, things are going to improve. New technology comes in place. That's a good thing. The question is how you use it. And what we want to suggest to you and all of you is keep yourself safe.
On the topic of safety, is it okay to make friends online? Should you do that? Like, what is the process for that?
I honestly feel like it's a yes and no to that, because why would you want to make friends with somebody you don't know online? You know what I'm saying? But then again, a lot of people just do it for fun. You know what I'm saying? It's just for fun, but at the same time, you don't know somebody. Why would you want to?
They're not necessarily like your friends. They're more like people who follow you and like the things that you like, and it's like, oh, we can contribute with finding stuff and sharing stuff, but it's not like a real friendship, as in with some, like you, if we're friends, and I might see you at the mall one day. You're not, most likely not going to see the person online, because they could be across the country, and that's the thing with technology, it's everywhere, and you can do it in any place, so.
Right, I feel that if you don't know the person, why would you even want to try to be friends with them? They could just look, for example, with Amanda Todd. She, on Facebook, she friended someone who she thought was her friend, and he turned out to do something completely horrible to her.
But you got to think of it as if you were in person with the person. You don't know that person. You're at the store, at school. You know, your first day at school. You don't know anybody really unless you went to school with somebody previously. You're taking that chance to get to know somebody. You're networking. It's just, you know.
Right, but then again, you actually get to see the person. You have physical interaction. I've heard cases where people are befriending teenagers pretending to be 13-year-old boys, 13-year-old girls, when really they're 55-year-old pedophiles.
I think it also depends on really the way that you go about it. Right. Because on my social media accounts or whatever, like I might have somebody that I have a mutual interest with, and then say I go to a concert and they happen to be there, and it's like, oh, we've talked before, like we have a lot in common, and I've actually made friends that way. But it's not like I'm giving them my address and saying, hey, you should come meet me here or anything like that.
Let me share something with you. Cyber safety is the same thing as personal safety. Okay, whether you meet somebody for the first time at a concert or at the mall or something of that nature, you always ought to keep yourself safe. One thing about some kids, they want to jump in things full force. You got to be cautious. If someone says, you know, I'm so-and-so, like you just said, you know, okay, you're online with somebody says, okay, we're talking and things of that nature. You got to take that for face value at the time. But you got to also understand that I'm going to be cautious, because I don't know this person. I haven't seen this person. I don't know what they like. But it's the same thing like you meet somebody at the mall. You don't know who they are. You don't know what they're about. Take your time. Be cautious. Always have a little bit of caution in everything you do. Okay?
I just think that in any relationship that you're trying to make, you just have to be diligent. You have to be wise in the choices that you make.
And another thing with cyber safety, people can actually narrow you down. Like you can say, oh, my name is so-and-so, and then on the next picture or something, you can be like, oh, I attend this school. They can narrow you down by what you say.
So with that, should we hide our identity? Is it okay if we make another name for ourselves on our social media account?
No, I don't think it. I think what you have to be careful about is giving out personal information. Be careful giving out your address, your phone number, and certainly, and this is with not only with you as kids, but this is with adults too. You don't give people information out like your social security number and all those kind of things. You are, again, you got to err on the side of caution with everything you do. But I want to ask you all a question. What do you think about cyberbullying?
It's a major problem that hopefully will be abolished soon.
Well, I think that there's a lot of people think that cyberbullying is different than regular bullying because they say, oh, you can just delete the account or something like that. But I don't think that there's really, I mean, theoretically there's an escape from it, but I don't think there's any quick fix to cyberbullying, just like there isn't any quick fix to bullying. What do you guys think?
Well, I believe that it's different, but at the same time it's similar. With some cyberbullying cases that I've seen, people are just being bullied for things they cannot change. They just post a regular picture on themselves. You have comments like, you're ugly. Some as far as saying kill yourself over something so simple. But then you have other things where, from what I've experienced, you can't take crazy pictures of yourself, say ignorant things online, and not expect people to talk about you the next day.
When it comes to cyberbullying, to me, I just feel like in terms of the person being cyberbullied, if you post a picture and someone comments, you're ugly or you're stupid and I hate you, if you're not strong enough to ignore it, if you can't ignore those kinds of comments, I mean, like I said earlier, it's your choice to stay on social media. You don't have to stay on social media, so just leave.
And you can make simple choices like you can block them or unfollow them. So it can be easy, a simple fix. Yeah, or just ignore it.
You should never bully because y'all might be able to block you and delete you, but the effect is still there. It's like me shooting you in the arm. Y'all might be able to take away the bullet, but the wound's still there and the pain is still there. So therefore, end it all. Why would you harm somebody that never did nothing to you? You're gonna post pictures of me because I'm different. There's nothing wrong with being different. What's wrong with you is you decide to be the same as everybody else.
And I think one thing too with cyberbullying is that people like to get real bold over a keyboard because it's you and you've got this whole world wide web in between you and this person. So whether it's cyberbullying between someone you know, or it could just be some random person, like people like to make ignorant comments over the internet because they can hide behind that. And that
They
just
feel it's like a shield.
Yeah,
They're
it's definitely
being
like a
cowards,
shield.
Pretty much.
And I deal with it all the time, and I love it.
It makes me stronger.
It does. It does.
Hello and welcome to Code Green. My name is Hannah.
And my name is Alex.
Hey, do you ever stop and think about all the trash on the ground?
Yeah, you see trash on the ground all the time, but where does it really come from?
Trash on the ground comes from careless people who miss a trash can and don't bother to clean up their own mess.
Really? And how can we change these habits?
Well, think about if you see someone throw a paper on the into the trash and they miss and walk away. What would you do?
I would go over and pick it up and dispose of it properly.
That is a good thing to do.
And another thing you can do is try community service and pick up trash in your neighborhood.
That's a great thing to do.
You can also try and dispose of your trash properly by putting your bottles in a recycling bin instead of the trash.
Yeah, because plastic takes a long time to decompose.
And that's why we want to recycle our plastic bottles and cans.
So they don't end up in the landfill.
But remember, not everything is recyclable.
If you are not sure about if something is recyclable or not, check the bottom of it.
There should be a little recycling symbol with a number inside of it. It's usually a 7.
If it is a 7 or above, you can throw it in the recycling bin.
Oh, I get it. So when you think about it, it's really as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, people forget that there's no planet B.
So when we do this, we will be cleaner.
Yeah, just follow those steps and you'll be one step closer to a safer, greener, cleaner community and a cleaner lifestyle.
Oh, she may be weary. Young girls, they do get weary wearing the same old shabby dress. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But when she gets weary, try a little tenderness. Oh, you know she's waiting, anticipating the things that she never possessed. Whoa, no. Whoa. But while she's there waiting, and without them, try a little tenderness. Oh, na. Listen, and all you gotta do, it's not, no, oh, just sentiment to know. And she has her griefs and her cares. But the soft words, they are so gentle, yeah. And it makes it easier to bear. You won't regret it, no. And some girls, they don't forget it. Love is their own happiness. Oh, and but it's hard, it's all so simple now. And all you gotta do is try a little tenderness. Hey, won't you show her that you love her? Hey, you gotta squeeze her and don't tease her, never leave her. Got to show her that you love her, man. Just try a little tenderness. Hey, you gotta hold her tight, let her need her, squeeze her. Oh, squeeze her, don't tease her, never leave her. Got to, nah. Hey, just try a little tenderness. You gotta squeeze her tight, never leave her, hold her. Oh, squeeze her, and don't tease her, never leave her. Got to, try a little, just try a little, hey, just try a little, hey, just try a little tenderness. Squeeze her, don't tease her, never leave. Got to, nah. Hey, just try a little tender.
Yes.
Wow. That was, I felt like I was at your concert. You did that.
Thank you so much. I got the chill.
And so how long have you been singing?
I've been singing since I was 3.
Wow. Okay, and what different type of genres do you like to sing?
I love pop, country, R&B, so many. I'm just everything. I love it to sing everything.
And by that performance, I can tell you like to put all of your soul into the music.
I try to. I want to make it. Thank you so much.
And what type of artists are like you influenced by?
I love Stevie Wonder. That's my favorite artist. Aaron Neville. So many people. Chris Brown. A whole lot of people that I love. Can't think right now, but I love them so much.
Thank you so much for your amazing performance today.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Armani Walton from Tucker High School.
And I am Mia Hanna from Stevenson High.
And this is
Dappernistas.
So Mia, it seems like social media plays a big part in keeping up with the fashion of our generation, right?
That's right. Social networks like Pinterest, Instagram, and Tumblr definitely help you keep up with the latest fashion trends while sharing your own.
That's really dope. What are some of your favorite fashionable trend-setting statements?
Well, I'm definitely into blouses and button-downs. It's on point with what's hot and it's great for weekends or school.
Yeah, that looks great. I know for this time of year, I definitely love leather. Leather pants, leather shirts, leather everything. And the best part is I can take some great pictures with my phone and share with the whole world.
Yeah, can you say hashtag Dappernistas? But just because you can post your own personal style on social media doesn't mean you shouldn't think twice before posting.
That is so true. Not every fashion statement is appropriate for school or the internet.
But my killer style definitely is.
Strutting. Well, while Mia struts her stuff, I just want to say thanks all of y'all for watching this segment.
And you can catch us next time on
Dappernistas. All right, today on our kickback, it's a very special edition today. We have the legend, Grandmaster D, and the beautiful Portia Kirkland.
And you know, and today they're gonna talk with us in the pit crew about the music industry and basically how it's changed a little bit over the time.
Now, I would like to personally ask the pit crew a question. What is the difference between old school hip hop and the new school hip hop? Let's collaborate.
I think that old school definitely had a meaning behind it. There was always something that was pushing it forward that people could connect to.
Yes, now it's all about turning up and getting girls and all about that shoe game, A1 and everything.
And then not everybody has that.
Exactly.
So it should be about stuff that everybody can relate to.
Yeah. I think one big difference between the two is that with old school music, lots of people definitely pay attention to the meaning behind it. But although new artists may also have meaning behind it, not many kids these days actually listen to the meaning and the lyrics. They just listen for the music.
I think that the old school music had a different story to tell rather than new school talks about today and, you know, different things.
I think it was a break in communication between old school hip hop and new school hip hop, because personally, more than what I listened to was older hip hop, but I know it was more like a rebellion. It was more like we need to change who we are in the face of society, and now it's more like we sort of need this as a crush to like get us to where we need to be.
And
I feel like that's where it changed.
I think we have to think about the artists themselves, like what they went through and what they're telling in their music is their experience. And somebody out there had that same experience just because you didn't have that experience. And just like in the old days with the old school music, that artist had an experience that they were telling, and the situation at the time, it might be their environment or whatnot, they're expressing their feelings. And people is just what you can relate to. If that's not your type of music that you can relate to, you can go to pop, you can go to jazz. It's just what you can relate to.
I know people who like have cried because of old school hip hop, and now it's like no emotion really like that. People who have cried because like that's what I went through, that was my life, you know? So.
I think that old school music is more happy, and now it has a more sad undertone.
So I have a question for you all about the music industry. When you first entered the music industry, was it difficult to get respect from your peers?
Well, I would look at it like this. Back before it became on wax, we started in the parks. So it was like outside, it was free. You plugged into a light pole, and the word of mouth brought people out, or they heard the music from down the block. And everybody would battle one another. You had the break dancers, and you had the other MCs battling one another. This was before everybody got record deals. So it was all in having fun and just bringing people together and just enjoying good music.
And then it's also important to understand that it wasn't always about rapping and rap music. For me, being a B-girl, rap music was James Brown and breakbeats. So we didn't always have, you know, rap music, but we had breaks.
Yeah, and James Brown always came funky. And James Brown to me was a rapper. Like, you know, we had the artists like Joe Tex, and I had a variety of music I listened to. I listened to Chicago, Billy Joe. I can listen to Carly Simon, or I can listen to Bill Withers. You know, it was Earth, Wind and Fire. And it had great sounds, horn sounds, good music to your ear, even jazz. Jazz is considered with hip hop too. You know, music was worldwide.
I have a question for you all. How do you think music has changed your emotions, the way you feel about yourself, the way you feel about the world? I mean, anyone?
Like for certain stuff, if it's female hip hop artists, like they try to empower other females, and it's like, you know, we got this, we're confident, we're beautiful, all that. And sometimes with the male hip hop artists, it's just negative, you know, putting down women with bad, like different kind of words that aren't so great, and it's not all that good, but there is a few that try to, you know, just be empowering about it.
One thing I can follow you with that is, I look at the artists today, a lot of them are following one another. If you follow, you can't lead. So like you were saying about how the men are bashing the women, it's like the women almost putting themselves out there to get bashed, because that's the message they sending. Now, I remember Donna Ross saying, to be a diva, you ain't gotta take your clothes off. You know, it's about respect, and it's like the love for the music, but it's for the lyrics, and we're trying to send a message to reach every generation, and a positive message, because a lot of it now, you know, I hate to say it, but it's some good, but it's a lot bad. Yeah. Because if I gotta hear this 24 hours, they force it on you. They force it on you. So if you ride in the car, every hour you get out the car and come back in and you hear that same song, you're gonna know the lyrics by the time you get home. Yeah. So if you can make records like that, and then a lot of times the beats are good, but they just want to be tougher than the next one. It's only gonna be one Tupac and one Biggie, and they not here, may they rest in peace. But if you follow, you can't lead. There's somebody waiting in that basement to come. I look at Kendrick Lamar, to me, he's like one of the best ones out there now. Nas is too, you know, but I just want something different.
Mm-hmm. And that was the difference back then. We knew the difference between Whodini and Cold Crush, right? Yes. Fearless, we knew they were different when they were on the radio from KRS-One. You knew Boogie Down Productions when you heard it. So when we turned on the radio, we knew who it was. That's EPMD. There wasn't any confusion in who we were listening to.
You definitely right. It's like the sounds of Curtis Blow sound like Curtis Blow, Run DMC sound like Run DMC, Whodini sound like Whodini. Like when we came original. We was making albums in Europe. We recorded in London. At that time, we had Billy Ocean in the studio. He was recording at that time. And we did something with Thomas Dolby. He did the first single. And to me, that music was totally different, but it was something that woke everybody up because we came totally different.
So like as an artist coming from an era where hip hop was much more poetic, what advice would you give to someone who's like in their basement, cutting tapes on GarageBand, trying to find a distinct sound and just feeling bogged down by all this, you know, this facade that you say?
I would say look for something different. Try something new that nobody's done.
Because I think like a lot of the rappers and hip hop artists nowadays, they kind of all sound the same. There's some, like, you could hear their voice and they're just like, okay, I know who you are. But a lot, like, they have the same beats as each other, the same voice.
But you know why? Because so many people say you have to study the best. And I think people get that kind of confused. You know, you're supposed to learn from them and take, you know, because that's what you're supposed to do, but not the sound, not the find your own unique style. I think that's so important, my opinion.
And I think music influences what we all do, what we think, how we move, how we act. I think you hear a song about going, shooting up, you know, getting money, that's what you want to do. So yeah, music influences our everyday moves.
See, what saddens me is I know that it's a lot of rappers who are actually being fed into this, because I work at a place that we have like a whole bunch of open talent, open mics and whatnot, and I see a whole bunch of rappers like come up there like weekly. You know, they do things and it's like, oh, they sound good and they sound different. And then I'll know that, then they'll get a magazine article, and that magazine article is this the next this person, or is that the next this rapper? And they're already being fed into this like this. And then they want to get that record deal so bad, and record companies would change who they are so that it sounds more open. And I'll heard the person last month and they'll sound like this, and then I'll hear them on the radio and sound like a generic rapper. And that sort of saddens me on the inside, because I'm a studier of hip hop.
That's a really key point I wanted to ask about too. When people are trying to pursue these record labels so that they can like slide into the mainstream, like you gotta, like it's the difference between like mainstream music and underground music. So is it the record labels that's kind of changing these artists so that they fit into the mainstream mold, or is it themselves just trying to reach into that?
I really think it's the record company, but it's a lot to do with the artists. Like if they see this guy's got a hit record and he's cursing like a sailor, they gonna follow him. And you know, today the average entertainer is the average Joe off the corner. You know, back in the days, you knew who was who, Now you can hear a record that sounds like so-and-so, or that sounds like, so you confused now. You go get the record, you say this is him, gotta be him. I heard the song, and they all sound the same. So, and back then we had record companies, you can go in there with your demo back in the days, and they will listen to it, and you might get a record deal. There's no more record labels now. They got independent labels. So you don't know, you know, they had Death Row back in the day, so now that's like the street game now is the industry. So you gotta be tough. It's like, right now, if I shoot up 5 people and go to jail, I can guarantee a record deal when I come home. You know, that's what it's about now.
And the difference is, too, you know, 20 years ago, you had that advance, you got signed, you had the advance. Today, you break yourself. So if I'm going to sign somebody to a record company, I'm already hearing about them in the clubs. There's no way that I would sign an artist that I don't hear about in the clubs already.
Relating back to the record deals and, you know, the advances, is it true, like, do you become a rich artist as soon as you sign your record deal?
No.
You gotta crawl before you walk. There's a lot of people got beat. I mean, that didn't really receive nothing. The royalties were stolen, and you know, like now, I had to go to Congress like 5 years ago with Nancy Sinatra because her father, Frank Sinatra, didn't write none of his songs, but he sung on all those records. But we were going to fight for artists that didn't write none of these songs to receive royalties. And that's what we were fighting for. And the law is getting passed, and but just now we're receiving a lot of royalties, like old school groups from the 60s, and they didn't receive no money back then. Now they're starting to receive money, like the Rascals and all the groups like that.
Well, today, too, you have 360 deals, so you can have a lot of recording artists today that aren't paid. They make their money from touring. You know, before it was, you know, if you had your publishing, if you wrote, you had a couple of points on the album. Today, it's all about the shows. It's all about touring, and you have to recoup. You got to pay, you know, that money back.
And I think one reason too why touring might become like a bigger thing is our generation doesn't really like to buy music as much as say older generations. Like we do a lot of illegal downloads and things of that sort, and you know, not many people, unless you like really love an artist, you're not really going out to buy their CD or whatever. And that's usually from in the past. That's where they got their money, and so that's why touring has become such a heavy thing.
And the other thing was, back then we had mom and pop record stores, and just about every 10 block there was a record shop. There's no more of those now. Now the internet really is taking all your money. You know, if you want to get paid, they downloading like crazy.
But you know, one of the most important things I think that the youth needs to understand is hip hop is a lifestyle. There's no expiration date. You can be, you know, a B-boy or B-girl over 40. It's still very much a part of our lifestyle. It's not just a rap record. There's emceeing and turntablism. There's b-boying. What else did I miss? There's art, okay? And all of those elements together make up hip hop. So keep that in mind.
And I think one thing with a lot of youth, like they grow up, they say like, oh, I want to be like the next big rapper or the next big singer, when really there's a lot of different jobs and things going on in the entertainment industry that they can still be involved in. Like, what are some of those options that they have other than rapping or singing?
Well, I always tell people today, everybody's not going to become a rapper, everybody's not going to become a DJ. There's other avenues open, there's engineering, you can be a lawyer, doctor. You know, it's up to you what you put your mind to it. You know, and I always tell them once they get their foot in the door, you can walk the room. It's up to you.
I mean, I started out as a dancer, and I knew at some point I'm not going to be able to go on tour forever. I was a recording artist with Warner Brothers, and then at some point I said to Tupac, you know, what should I do? And he said, why don't you try PR and marketing? And that, you know, became my career. But I did get a BA in communications. You can, you know, major in communications or business or marketing, work for a record company, work in the marketing department, do entertainment law, do PR, do video production, video promotions, street promotions. There are, you know, lots of different things to do behind the scenes.
Now, how do we let today's youth know that if they're so set on being a rapper and that's all they want to do, how do we kind of make sure they know you need something to fall back on, because not everything will work out for you in life. That's life. How should we prepare them?
I always say education is the key. You start with that first. It's just like being an NBA player or football player. If you break your leg and your career is over, you gotta have plan B. Yeah. You gotta always have something to fall on.
Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. Hate to cut you off, but catch us next time on The Bridge.
Social media has been a driving force in teenagers' lives for over a decade.
Although you can use social media for great things, such as staying connected with families and friends, it can also have major negative setbacks.
For example, you want to apply for college.
If you still have pictures from your party last night on your page, college representatives can see that, and they may lessen your chances to get accepted.
One way to prevent this is to create 2 accounts, one for your family and friends, and one for your professional opportunities.
You can also use this method for other social media sites, such as Instagram and Twitter.
Now let's talk to some DeKalb County students about social media. What are some ways that social media can negatively affect your professional opportunities?
Most definitely getting a job. To start off in school, you know, as trying to get a job as a senior or a junior, they look at what you post on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. As far as college, you know, when they look at your record and they see that, you know, you've been involved in such things, they're not going to want you to go to their school. Yeah.
I agree. I think that if you're posting yourself doing negative stuff, then if you apply for a job or college, they're definitely going to look at that and probably reconsider you.
Right.
Yeah. How can you prevent this?
You can prevent this by, well, simply the first rule, not posting it.
Yeah.
The whole world doesn't need to see what you do or what might be looked at as being negative.
Yeah. Mia?
Yeah, but like, I also think that first you should make an account for your personal life and like jobs and whatnot, and just don't post it. Like, you have a private life too.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. And this has been Harlow
and Joy with What's the Move.
What's up, everybody? It's great to see you back on The Bridge and on Parenting 101. We hope you enjoyed the show so far, but it's not the end yet. So kick back and relax as we give you great parental facts. I'm your host, Kelly, and today we're going to give you some road advice. The post for today says, okay, I have a question for you. What advice do you think a teenager that's starting to drive will listen to? Because I want to get down on his perspective of things to understand him better. I've been driving for 19 years and I have 206,197 mileage on my car, but he's only been driving for a month and thinks he's all that. What do you think will get through that thick head of his? Well, that's a great question. I can understand from personal experience that when you first get your license, you're excited because you have this great new freedom to drive without having an adult in the car. But you have to remind them that with this privilege comes a lot of responsibility and that they need to pay attention to what's going on around them while driving, not only for their safety, but for the safety of others around them. Just let them know to maybe turn down the music and turn off their phones while they're in the car so that they can really focus, so that they can be as good a driver as you are as time goes by. I hope that helps. Make sure you catch us next time on Parenting 101.
I remember this feeling from a long time ago. Told myself I'll never be back here, but yet again here I go, trying to patch up things with small talk, but it's never enough. No, I can tell if you really don't care, or if you're just being tough. And I thought that I wanted someone a little bit better. And I thought that I wanted someone a little bit better. But it turns out I don't want that. I want you now. said you couldn't give me a title, so I had to let you go. Talk to a sider on the phone, trying to figure out how I tell you so. It was the hardest night. If it makes you feel better, you were always nice to me. And since I'm alone, I'm getting the feeling I just settle for less than I need. And I thought that I wanted someone a little bit better. And I thought that I wanted someone a little bit better. But it turns out I don't want that. I want you now. Can you come back? I am sorry. Now I text you, you don't reply, and I don't blame you. I am sorry for my heart, breaking your heart. Now we're apart. It's all my fault. I am sorry on my part, on my part. And I hope that you find someone a little bit better. And I hope that you find someone a little bit better.
Yes, yes.
That was such a beautiful performance. And you wrote that yourself. That is very impressive.
Thank you.
So what's your inspiration to write your own music?
Well, I always write the songs that I cannot find. If I can't find a song about what I'm going through at the time, I'll just write it myself.
It's interesting. So how long have you been singing?
I've been singing forever, but I started writing and playing in 9th grade.
So what artists are like your biggest inspiration?
Well, I love India Irie, of course, and there's a new artist. Her name is Sylvan Esso, and I love her, and Nora Jones, of course.
Well, thank you so much for your beautiful performance.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thanks for tuning into The Bridge. We hope that you had fun and learned something with us today about having but staying safe on social media.
We would like to extend a thank you to all of our guests. We appreciate you all coming on the show.
Now be sure to tune in next time, where we'll be discussing driver safety and how to save money.
I need to save money.
Me too.
So next time, this week, don't forget to like, subscribe, hashtag, and share The Bridge with your friends. From everyone here, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.